Hi, everybody. This is Lee with Fresh Astrology, and I'm joined here today with my colleagues and co-founders of Camille. We've got Mimi and Carolyn.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
And if you've been tuning in lately, we've been talking a lot about purpose for a reason, because 2020 really is the year to figure out your purpose, to start living your authentic life based on why you're here on the planet. Why were you born to begin with? And for a lot of people, when people start thinking about purpose, they're really thinking about resetting their life. They want to kind of just hit the reset button and do a shift, like instead of going this way, I want to go this way. Because if you're not right now living your purpose, or you're not exactly sure what your purpose is, your life's going in a certain direction. Arguably, when you do uncover your purpose and kind of connect with it, you're going to shift and your life's going to start going in a different direction. It's like a reset. So we wanted to talk about this idea of reset tonight. And so the way this works is the three of us, we're really letting you into our personal conversations, behind the scenes, how we talk about this stuff. So this is really how the three of us talk, when the camera's not on, when the lights aren't on, we're talking this particular way. So we're just gonna let you into our conversation, come into our living room and talk with us and think about this idea of resetting your life. What does that mean? What will it take? What happens if I do reset my life? So go, Mimi and Carolyn, what do you have to say?
Well, I think the first thing I think about is resetting your life is huge. It's really seems very, very big. Like if you think about resetting your entire life, that can feel overwhelming. It certainly felt overwhelming to me when I was looking to reset my life. I knew I had to reset my life. I knew it was not an option for many, many reasons. But the how and what it was going to look like and how I was going to get there was a total mystery to me, even though I knew I had to do it. So that alone was stressful, but also felt very lonely to me. Like I felt like I was the only person on the planet resetting their life at a later age. And none of it was comfortable, So that's the first thing I think about resetting their lives. Now, I'm sure like there are people who are resetting their lives that it's just a fun adventure, but there's also, just a lot of stress that can come along with not knowing how to go about it. Knowing you wanted a better life. Like I knew I needed to improve things financially. I was looking down at a retirement account that was not going to get me through retirement, and relationships that needed to change or go away. And my role in my family was shifting dramatically. So all of that was a lot. And basically what we created here, when I look at like what sometimes we ask ourselves, why do we create these three courses? What are these three pillars about? Truly, these were the three things that needed to be put into place for me to be able to pivot. And then we look at the people we've coached, and those people, these are the three pillars that they rely on as they pivot and reset their lives as well.
Yeah. So so our reset bundle includes this concept of connecting to your purpose, and then even living, to live your purpose fully, including your work day. That's the whole purpose to profit concept. And then before somebody even gets there, they might need to do some mindset shift work and some money shift work, because money shift means, which is built on mindset shift, working with how you think about and feel about money, and then some practical tools in managing money. It's very important to do that sometimes before you even go on this big adventure of, finding your purpose and then creating a business or a lifestyle out of it. You kind of need to clean up your mindset. Most people do. And even though we work on this stuff all the time, when we say work on your mindset, we mean daily.
Right.
We mean daily and all day long. It's a practice. It's a habit you develop. And when somebody finishes, I think what I really want to share with people is when somebody finishes our courses, they don't just watch us on a video and do a few worksheets. We're teaching them how to incorporate these things into their daily existence.
Yeah.
Their
To
daily
create the
life for the rest
habits,
of their life. Yeah. This is
because
not like a
change is
one and
built.
done
Yeah.
course.
Change is built one step at a time, one day at a time. It's not, like you said, one and done, flip a switch and it's over. It's
Right.
built
It's an
over time.
everyday thing. And part of the reason that if you had just bought the Purpose Shift course, or if you had just bought the Money Shift course, we give you the Mindset Shift course with those, because it's really, it's impossible to start making big changes in your life until you start to learn how to quiet your mind, how to develop resiliency, how to work with confidence within yourself. And these are all the tools that are within the Mindset Shift course. And that's what I had gotten to a later stage in my life and had never done any of that type of work. So it really does change, because when something goes wrong in your life, you can get sucked into that vortex of worrying about that. So it makes it harder to think what I really want my life to look like. How would I really like to be spending my days? Because you're so caught up in this issue or this problem that's spinning. So when you can learn to sort of control those thoughts and minimize what really should be minimized and focus on what's more important, it just opens up your world to pursuing those things.
Right. And
Right.
the money shift going, or like, because there's thought work in the money shift as well. They are two standalone courses, but the thought work in the money course, the money shift course, is so powerful because, if you talked out 99.99% of people are going to say, yeah, no, I definitely want more money. I love money. Money would be great. I'd love to make more. I'd love to earn more. So at first glance, it would be hard for us to identify that any of us have issues with money. Having an issue with money, I don't have an issue with money. Yeah, I want it. But that course really teaches you the relationship of how money is energy. And if you really did not have issues with money, then you would have money. And if you don't have the money that you want to have, or the retirement accounts that you want to have, then we have to go in and clean up your thought work, because there's something that's repelling it or keeping it from you. So that alone, that kind of thought work in the money shift course is really powerful at teasing out where you could be sabotaging yourself.
Right. And it teaches you not just in the moment that you're in the course, like watching the video and doing the homework, but it really teaches you that this is a daily lifetime practice.
Right.
And so people come into our Money Shift program for all kinds of reasons. Some people have a lot of money, but they are not very confident about how they manage it. And so they live in fear that something's going to go wrong, or they're going to lose money, or they just live in fear around even getting into all their accounts. They can't keep their, passwords straight or whatever. People come into that program for a variety of reasons. It's not always from money lack, but there's usually some kind of lack thought or self-worth issue. Even if it's just around money management, there's a kind of a lack thinking around money management, if that's the issue. And so what the course does is it teaches you the daily practices or the weekly practices, and the way you start to reset and build a life that's actually going to be functional in terms of mindset, and a healthy mindset, in terms of healthy money management and mindset, in terms of healthy connection to purpose, and a healthy, exciting kind of life-giving force around how you live your life, maybe even through your work. And it's
right. People are afraid to talk about money. And I think that financial industry has made it more complicated than it needs to be. But I think as you become more comfortable with money and you sort of replace fear with just kind of acceptance and knowledge, then it really changes your relationship with money. And so once your relationship with money is more positive, then money will start to come.
Right.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah.
even like you were saying earlier, Lee, some of our clients that don't have a lack of money still have a fear of money. It's very
Right,
interesting. They
Right.
fear checking their bank accounts. They they just keep putting that off. And if you don't know your login information, that's
Yeah.
some sort of intentional, I don't want to know, don't, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right. It's a
so,
false blockage, you know.
right,
Like I can never find my password issue
right,
is a false block that's preventing
right.
from getting in there. Yeah.
And that is
Okay.
something that isn't
Yeah.
solved overnight. That's something that's solved in the daily routine of every time you're logging in, you're doing the work around it and checking your gut and checking in with yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think after somebody takes our course? What do you think they start to feel about their life
so
and
the
where
bundle,
they are?
The bundle. Yeah.
If they bought
I
the bundle.
think after the bundle, somebody's super empowered because if they've gone through mindset and they've really developed those practices, they haven't just sat back and watched the videos. The videos are interesting. You learn. It's like watching a course. But unless you get in there with the worksheets and start doing this daily stuff, frankly, you're not going to reset your life. You have to be willing to literally reset your day each day and your practices. And that's what these courses do. When they come out of the bundle and this reset component that the bundle provides, what's changed is their daily habits and practices. They know how to create healthy mindset in any given moment. And they're building a strong foundation every day that they do it anyway. So even if they have a really rough day, they have this strong foundation that's just sitting there waiting to catch them. And then they know all the tools they can use. Then if there's like a money situation or they have to go and negotiate for a higher salary or they need to go to the bank and ask for a loan to start a business, the money shift course on top of the mindset shift gives them like a huge sense of self-worth, a lot of practical advice, and again those daily practices that empowers them to do exactly that, whatever it is they need to do with money, with their salary, with their overall living situation, you know, that is material based. They have a higher self-worth and all those practices. They just know what to do and what, as Carolyn likes to say, which levers to pull when something needs to happen. Like if you're feeling a little down, you know which lever to pull. If you're feeling a little like you feel like your self-worth situation's gotten a little wonky on some given day, you know which lever to pull because we give you the tools and the practices. And then by the time you uncover purpose, that's the holy grail. That's how you turbocharge your soul and your life. If you ever wanted rocket fuel underneath you, it's purpose. You know, if you want to know why some people tend to just keep going and going and they always have energy and they're glowing, it's because they're connected to their purpose pretty cleanly and clearly. That is like rocket fuel.
yeah. And
It's not going to do you, like purpose is not going to do you as much good if you don't have good, healthy mindset tools. And it's not going to do you as much good if you don't have good money relationship tools in your toolbox and practices. So they all work together really well.
right, which is why we designed them this way. These were
Yeah.
not thrown together fly by night topics or courses that we put together. We intentionally dug down to find the 3 strongest components that people need to create a roadmap to resetting their lives. And then we set out on a 1.5-year journey of curating these courses so that they're highly effective, so that the tools in them are ones that we've tried over a course of time, that we've let a lot of tools go by the wayside that weren't as effective, and really honed these courses to be, we consider cream of the crop. And again, habit changing, life changing courses. They were designed to stand alone for people who need them alone. Of course, with the mindset shift being the foundational course that comes with either of the other two, but it's really powerful when you're looking to make major change to look at the bundle.
Yeah.
We just poured our life and soul into these so that they could really help people.
Right. And it means, like, when I think, like, why should anybody listen to us if they don't know us? And then there's no particular reason except, I mean, each one of us has worked in our own way to support women outside of this business and to support people outside of this business. And I spent years writing for divorcemoms.com because in my story, you know, in my journey, that's what that gave me a major life reset mandate. You know, I had no choice and I had no tools. I had no know-how. I was totally starting from scratch and there was no roadmap. I remember going to the bookshelf in my local store and going onto Amazon and looking at divorce books, and it was all about how to talk to your attorney and, you know, spying on your spouse and trying to, like, steal information about them. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I need, you know, I was already thinking, I just want my life to be good. I want to build a good life for myself and I want to feel better. And there was really no way to do that back then. And so when I, you know, was working on these courses with you guys, you know, I was thinking of me and where I was, you know, a decade ago or over a decade ago. And I know you guys had similar interests.
Yeah. I think we all wrote these courses and designed them and utilized the tools with our past selves in mind, you know. We wrote the course that we wished we'd had.
Yeah.
And I always consider it a roadmap because that's what I was looking for. I didn't want to feel alone. I didn't want to have to figure it all out by myself. I wanted some kind of pathway to success that somebody that I trusted could show me. And that's where we sat down and brainstormed this together. Because
I just want to say, when you were talking about roadmap, it's, you know, or I could feel when this was not the life that I wanted to be living. I was not the person that I wanted to be, but I could see her standing out there ahead of me. So I think, like, what journey do I need to take to get me from this person to that person? What are the tools I need to take to get me from where I am now to this person? Because I think being able to visualize that person and see who it is that you want to be makes it easier, but how to get there was the
and
big question.
What you see over and over again with people who truly transform is they learn daily practices that change, that if you do these tiny daily things over and over each day, and you build on that suddenly your life changes. And people say, well, how did your life change overnight? Well, it didn't. You started building in these practices and trying, like, you know, some of the tools that we teach and really bringing it into your day and incorporating it. You don't have to be perfect at it, but you have to be willing to keep trying these things over time on a daily, weekly, even monthly basis, but understanding that you're building. And then suddenly there's going to be a time, we don't know if it's next week, we don't know if it's a month from now, we don't know if it's 3 months from now, but at some point you're going to look at yourself in your life and be like, holy cow, I totally reset my life. How did this, it'll seem like magic when it happens. And people around you will think magic has occurred too, because suddenly your life will just be completely transformed.
And the same is true for the tools. It'll seem like, oh, I've got to remember how to do that tool. I've got to remember how to go back and think, you know, what did I learn yesterday in that course that I took? And then 2 or 3 months down the road, all of a sudden you'll think, you know, oh, I just used that mindset tool without even being aware of it. It's like second nature to me now. It's part of who I am. And that's what I wanted to talk about as far as these, we keep saying these are habits and daily changes that need to be made. But when we say that, it may sound to somebody like, well, I don't have all day
Mm-hmm.
to, I still have to drive my kids to school, or I still have to go to my job, or I still have to live my life. I can't spend all day learning these new habits. These are habits that you will be weaving into your daily life. You will have to dedicate some time to the learning process, but the actual tools
Mm-hmm.
will not be
Done in a minute, as little as a minute.
Yeah, they'll start
Most
getting
of
like
yeah.
literally woven into the
And
fabric of your day.
And that's what I think distinguishes our teachings and our courses, is we teach you how to do it in a way that's not overwhelming. We show you specifically how you can do this in tiny little pieces. And it's sometimes hard for people to trust that if I do this tiny thing that takes a minute every day for however, for the rest of my life, how could that possibly change my life? But that's what works. That's actually what will change your life. That's what will do it. And it can be a very small thing. You don't have to take big, huge steps or make big sweeping gestures. Like when we talk about life reset, we're not talking about some big dramatic thing that you have to do.
Sell your house, quit your job.
No.
It's not that.
Move across the country. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reset.
It's not that.
It's a reset internally that you do. And it's done in little incremental bits over time. And I would say for somebody who's looking for something instantaneous, or just wants to kick back and watch a few videos and think that's going to change their life, they should not buy our courses. They should not, because our true reset is not just kicking back and watching like a Netflix series. You could watch and do our program like you're watching a Netflix series.
Right.
And you'd learn something, but it wouldn't change your life.
You'd be getting the value out of it, right?
No. The value comes from being ready and willing to do the practices. And I really want to emphasize that, because if people buy our courses, I want them to actually get the reset value.
Sure.
And that I want them to understand that it takes the little daily practices.
So Lee, this is our sales page that you've got up on the screen. Are you going to have the link below this so people can?
Yeah. I'll put the link in for the reset bundle. And we put the screen here so you could see what is inside the bundle. It includes our Purpose to Profit Shift course, which stands on its own, like Mimi said, our Money Shift course, which stands on its own, and the Mindset Shift, which stands on its own. But in both the Money Shift and Purpose Shift, if you were to buy just either one of those, you get for free the Mindset Shift, because the Mindset Shift is the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
And that's what turned my life around. It's what turned Carolyn's life around. It's what turned Mimi's life around. It's the Mindset Shift work that really powers these two other courses. Yeah. So it's important to know that that's the work you need to be doing to
you can buy that course individually too if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, it's a good start. It's a great starting point, actually.
Yeah. In fact, if you're in a situation where you're really up against it, and making an investment or in time or money, it just isn't viable, the Mindset course is so accessible and so affordable, and we designed it specifically that way to get you out of that sort of tight situation and be thinking differently and open yourself up to different opportunities and thought processes. And then you could always circle back and do the bundle at another time.
Yeah, we actually have a fair number of clients who come in through the Mindset Shift course and then go on to do the others, because they just feel like they can bite. That's something they can, take a little bite, and they know they can manage it. And then they're ready to go on and pursue other things.
Great.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.